So much. For more, one of the country's top so-called friendly hackers is with me now. He is the CEO of information security company TrustedSec, David Kennedy. So, David, why are we hearing about this little by little?
Well, the problem is when you have a breach like this, the federal government isn't exactly known as having the best security when it comes to protecting personal information. So they have to go through, thousands and thousands and millions of logs to figure out exactly what the hackers had access to. And, this earlier statistic of around 600,000, they were successful around 50% of the time on guessing, the account information to get access to your data. So that's pretty alarming to see that they had a high success rate in getting personal information.
Well, personal information, and as my colleague Jerry Willis just pointed out, it's social security numbers,
right.
It's salary levels, it's people's children's social security numbers.
Yep.
So what are the chances that the number goes higher or that the kind of information is even deeper, although I can't imagine what's deeper than a social security number?
Well, that's the problem with these types of breaches. The government doesn't have a lot of monitoring and detection capabilities of actually detecting these hackers. So they're really trying to go back to look at a lot of this information. So the numbers could definitely go up. Who knows? And the problem you have with this is that it's not just, like getting your credit card stolen. They have to go back and look at that. It's your identity that's actually taken, which means that, it could be 5 years, 10 years from now before you actually see the impact of this.
Okay, 5 to 10 years, which is a long time to wait before you try to apply for a mortgage or some sort of practical process.
That's right.
And find out that somehow your credit or something is very much off. But how did this kind of information, I heard you say that the government really isn't up to date. Is it software? Is it humans? Where is the weakest link in our system right now?
Well, unfortunately, with the government, they're literally 5 or 10 years behind the private sector. So it's everywhere. It's their websites. It's the humans themselves. There's a lot of vulnerabilities that we have right now in the federal government, and unfortunately, they're the largest conglomeration of data that we have, around personal information, around our social security numbers and everything else. So in this specific one, it was through their websites, and they didn't have good security protections in place to stop these large amounts of collection and data exfiltration. So, unfortunately, it's all aspects right now in the federal government.
So, David, based on what you know, do you think that the federal government is doing something, that is to say, maybe not publicly, but is looking to hire, is looking to upgrade its web, anything?
I think they're trying. The problem is that security is one of those things that you need to move fast. You need to make changes very quickly, which is the exact opposite of how the government operates. So it's very difficult for them to go in and implement these changes in a quick manner to protect it. Unfortunately, we're going to see these for the next few years where we have large amounts of social security numbers and personal information taken. The government just can't move quick enough.
David, thank you so much.
Thanks,
David
Deirdre.
Kennedy joining us there, CEO of TrustedSec.